Argentina puts a butt whooping on Italy. The Azzurri looking a shadow of themselves, looking aged, not like fine wine, but like very decrepit looking wine. Lionel Messi, Martinez, and Di Maria, the stars of the show. 3-0 Argentina at Wembley over Italy. Jonathan Johnson, we know this Argentina team has some stars, but is there a bit of gold dust and magic that we can expect something out of them, out of this group?
You know what? I don't actually think it's necessarily gold dust or magic. I mean, when you have players of the caliber of Messi, Di Maria, Dybala, Martinez, pretty much everybody in the Argentine squad, it's almost more important to be able to generate or build up a bit of chemistry. And I think that was the challenge that faced Scaloni when he came in. There's so much talent in this squad. It's a way of actually channeling it, actually turning it into a functioning team. And that is maybe the most impressive thing that's happened with Argentina over the last couple of years. They've got the Copa America title to show for it from last year. And looking at them now, they are a real unit. They play, as a group. It's not just a bunch of individuals thrown together on the pitch. And I think that they will be much more convincing as a team on the World Cup stage come the end of this year. And I think the staggering thing about this performance was, how united this Argentine side looked. And how disheveled, Italy were. And let's bear in mind, Italy were crowned European champions less than 12 months ago.
Yeah.
It's been a staggering sort of rise and then fall from grace once again for the Azzurri. But this Argentina side, I think it's the kind of setup that Messi had been crying out for years. It's a shame that it's come so late in his career, but if he can maintain the same kind of form that we saw from him tonight, teeing up 2 goals for his teammates, and Di Maria looking evergreen as well, then perhaps this Argentina side are going to have a say in Qatar later this year.
It's just so special. 32 games unbeaten with this match. There's something cooking in the water with this group. And what you said about Lionel Messi aging, I think that actually is a good thing. So many times when you have a world superstar in your ranks, Argentina have been so dependent on Lionel Messi, which some of the other players who have role players on this team and stars at their other clubs, they kind of shy away from taking on the spotlight and looking to pass to Messi. Now they're stepping up, and a guy who is building and has built from last season to Copa America, strong performance in Serie A with Inter, Lautaro Martinez. This guy gets better and better on those 2 goals, scoring one himself, setting up Di Maria with that delicious chip for the second. What do you make of this guy's ceiling? Are we just scratching the surface with how good Martinez can be as a striker for Argentina?
I mean, absolutely. He has plenty of potential and can be one of the best strikers on the continent. I think the question with Martinez has always been about his consistency to score, regularly. I think if he can work on that in the next couple of years, he'll be absolutely lethal. He already is lethal, and I like it that he's multifaceted as well. He can provide assists and also score goals. I think you always boost your value if you're not just the predator who puts the ball in the back of the net at any cost. He can score the easy goals. He can score the tougher ones. Almost, it's kind of weird that he kind of finds it easier to score the spectacular rather than the straightforward. But you have guys like that sometimes in the game. But I think the fact that he can also lay his teammates on as well, that's extremely valuable both for club and country. And I think as well, this Argentine side now is really set up quite nicely. As you mentioned, Messi, there are certain advantages to him being a veteran. Same goes for Di Maria as well. And then when you have like a wild card like Dybala, somebody who we know is phenomenally talented and can be brilliant on his day, you just throw him in. Sometimes you'll get a performance out of him. He scored today. And I think that this Argentina side has a lot of balance, a lot of potential, at this moment in time. And things certainly look very good in attack right now.
Given what they've done to get to this point, qualifying for the World Cup, playing in an action-packed, all-action CONMEBOL, Does this match, a match like this, that's a statement match really, to beat Italy 3-0 in Europe, what does it say about their chances at the World Cup?
I mean, I think their chances are very, very good. I mean, with all due respect to all the other teams in that Group C, I think anybody who looks at that on paper is going to expect Argentina to finish top of that group.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia, you would expect Argentina, okay, maybe not to get 9 points, but certainly to finish top of the pile. I think Mexico will probably be the most challenging fixture out of those. But like we saw earlier with Poland against Wales, they're not to be messed with either. And Saudi Arabia have come on leaps and bounds over the last couple of years as well. So I think the fact that Argentina will have somewhat of a test in their group straight off the bat is a good thing. But I'd be confident if I was asked, somebody put a gun to my head and made me give Jimmy Conrad my bets for the World Cup. Now I would. I think I'd have Argentina, getting to the business end of the tournament.
Yeah, they made more and more of a believer out of me watching them in Copa America. And really, like you said, it's a team that's unified. It's a team that is unified for a common cause. And no, it's not just having Messi get that coveted World Cup title. There's so much at stake for all these players. I think of the Paulo Dybala coming off the bench. He's a guy playing for a new home, leaving Juventus this summer, and a guy who will be also leaving Juventus, shifting over to Italy, Chiellini, the swan song that wasn't for him, getting just butt smacked in every single way in this match. No other way to put it. And moving to LAFC, moving to MLS. So congrats to him on just kind of this business end of his career, latter stages, a guy who's been just a champion to Juventus, a champion to Italy. And looking at this Italian team, what a difference a year make. You touched on it a little bit, but what happened? What's happening to Italy? They seem like they're regressing, not moving forward from that European Championship victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to just put your finger on one thing that's happened since that Euro success, but let's be honest about it as well. And I'm not taking anything away from Italy. They were, I guess you could say, fortuitous at times on their route to the 2020 final. But they were also opportunistic. They took their chances, so credit to them. You can't be a bad team if you go on the unbeaten run that they went on, that record breaking. I can't remember what number it finished on. It's something like 46 or something like that. But what seemed to galvanize them under Mancini, as soon as that record broke, it's like something else broke, like a collective belief. I don't know, maybe in the group, the squad kind of psyche mentality, they suddenly thought, well, okay, we've won the Euros, so we're back. And, the Azzurri is something that the country can be proud of again. And being in a difficult World Cup qualification group, suddenly they found themselves, dropping down the standings and then dropping into the playoffs, and then obviously getting beaten, by one of a number of plucky European sides, currently on the rise. So for me, I think it's it's not for a lack of talent. I do feel that maybe there's a bit too much loyalty at times towards some of these aging stars. I mean, let's be honest as well. If you were Chiellini at that moment, surely there must have been a thought in his mind, well, it's going to be impossible for me to go out on a much higher note than this Euro success. So I'm going to retire internationally now, maybe prolong my club career by a season or two. And now suddenly he finds himself on the move and retiring from international football anyway. So I feel that maybe there was a bit of stubbornness on the part of some players who could have stepped aside and created space for this younger generation. But also at the same time, when you look at that Italian squad and Italian football as a whole, there isn't actually that much coming through in the way of a younger generation in terms of sort of international quality. Yes, there are guys like Berea, who are coming through and is going to be the spine of this team for sort of the next decade. But when you look at that group and you look at someone like Marco Verratti is going to be nearly 35 by the time he next potentially gets the chance to play in a World Cup, which is insane. That would be his first World Cup ever.
Yeah, I think it just shines a light that much more. A guy that they were missing, Chiesa.
Yep.
Team of the tournament, a guy who could make a difference in the final third. But I agree with you in terms of the loyalty to older players and really some of the young guns coming out of Serie A, coming through Italy. I wonder what this is going to force not just management to do, but some of these younger players. I'd like to see them get into the top 4 teams and seeing how they grow and compete at this level. But Italy, definitely a crisis moment for them. And this match really shines a light on that of where they are at. But call to action for all of you watching, listening in, tuning in. How far do you think Argentina will go in this upcoming World Cup? Are we seeing some silverware? Are we seeing just disaster? Let us know. Put it in the chat.
And then I can see that Des has corrected me there at 37 games unbeaten. Still a phenomenal run, and you're right to raise the point about Chiesa as well. Somebody who was missed by Juve as well as Italy. So I mean, I think when you've got guys like that coming through and starting to play a key role as he was at the Euros. I think you really have to embrace the younger generation at some point, even if they might not be as good as some of the older generation were in their prime. I think at some moment you've got to sort of let it go. And I don't want to see Chiellini flame out at the end of his career, but sort of slipping into international retirement, getting subbed at halftime, is pretty brutal considering the champion that he is. And then going to Major League Soccer. It's not a knock on MLS, but it doesn't really feel like the right move for him. I don't see how he's going to go out on a high, making this switch. It's almost like he probably would have been better maybe seeing out one more season in like a squad role, just being there for his experience, as opposed to, trying to make the most of the last of this summer wine.